Hello and welcome back to the Ascent Cycling Podcast for daily recap number 20 of the Giro d'Italia, following today's stage between Verbania and the Valle Spluga Alpe Morta, the final inline stage of this Giro d'Italia, the final mountain stage. And what a stage it was. We've dressed for the part. Mr. Joe wearing a reversed Italian shirt here in honor of today's stage winner, Damiano Caruso. Joe, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Guillaume. How are you?
I'm extremely tired, but it's been a great day. It's been a great day of cycling, and what a stage we had.
Unbelievable stage, really was. I mean, I thought we would see more teams trying to open it up on the Passo San Bernardino. We only really saw Team DSM press on, and that was quite late in that climb as well. Surprise to me. I thought maybe Bike Exchange even, I just thought more teams would be interested in doing that, maybe to Koenig as well. In the end, though, it was Team DSM and Bahrain Victorious pressing on in the descent of that climb. And that was really the decisive moment of the stage. What's a ride we saw today by Peo Bilbao and Michael Storer, guiding their leaders Romain Bardet and Damiano Caruso to the foot of that final climb with an advantage. And massive chapeau to those guys, you have to say.
Absolutely. Hats off to the two of them. And I'd even add a third rider to the bunch. Today was the best day for the teammates because you had Michael Storer for Bardet, Peo Bilbao for Damiano Caruso, and Daniel Felipe Martinez for Egan Bernal. Unbelievable ride today by both Colombians, but Dan Martinez, unreal. But if we go back to how the stage unfolded, we had quite a long flat portion at the start where it was actually very tough for the breakaway to separate themselves from the peloton. We had into the sprints quite early on with Peter Sagan making sure that the Ciclamino jersey would be his. And then we had a slight breakaway going with no rider really important. Passo del San Valentino started. In the downhill portion, we had Bahrain Victorious with Peo Bilbao attacking with Caruso and the Team DSM with Michael Storer, Romain Bardet, and I believe Chris Hamilton. Never had a gap above 40 seconds, but it's a gap that held until the line.
Yeah, it really was, and I noticed how you glossed over the San Bernardino there as it was so boring. Guillaume actually decided to take a nap actually at that stage of the stage. So it wasn't the most exciting climb. I thought we'd have teams blowing it up, but sadly that wasn't the case. Which obviously has culminated in Guillaume catching some Z's, you could say. But it was a good stage nonetheless. And there was one moment on the final climb, the Alpe Morta. Storer had just dropped away and Bilbao gave his all. And the moment that he pulled over, Caruso gave him a pat on the back, a big, so thankful for the work that Bilbao had done throughout the day. And I thought that was an unbelievable moment to witness because, Caruso has been in that Bilbao role, the domestique role, so often. 99% of his career has been that role. And for him to be, he knows how important that role is, how crucial it is in deciding the win. Without Bilbao giving that extra burst of energy, who knows? Bernal could have come back and taken the stage today. So Caruso, he knows how crucial it is, and he was really thankful, and it was great to see.
Absolutely, I think he knows the sportsmanship that was in that picture was absolutely unreal. We had Dan Martinez a couple of days ago, just shouting at Egan Bernal, giving him support. But today's stage speaks even more words. It's just a thank you in one single pat on the back. And what a way to reward your team by getting a stage win. Damiano Caruso's first Grand Tour win. And what is Damiano Caruso's first ever World Tour win, first stage win on a Grand Tour as well. He was actually the second rider with the most amount of podiums in World Tour without a win, with 68 podiums. First place, I believe, is Wilco Kelderman with over 100. So, good luck for Wilco. But yeah, he puts an end to that series. We have to mention, though, someone else as well in that stage, Romain Bardet, who was with Damiano Caruso for most of the stage, followed him in San Bernardino in the downhill of the Splung Pass. However, he just could not hold on to Caruso in the Alpe Morta. I believe Romain ends up in P4, just behind Dan Martinez, but a very strong ride today by the Frenchman, who jumps on P5 of the GC with 31 kilometers left on this Giro d'Italia.
Yeah, awesome ride by Bardet for sure. And he and Caruso have done really well. They rode together on the other really high altitude stage at the Giro to Cortina d'Ampezzo. So interesting to see those guys teaming up again here high altitude. They seem to like the high altitude very much indeed, alongside Bernal, of course. But, it looked like at some point that the gap could be over a minute, but Jonathan Castroviejo, he controlled the gap. And then, like you say, Dani Martinez with a phenomenal performance. It really was the day of the domestiques today. He guided Bernal literally into the final kilometre, final few hundred metres even, where Bernal just went solo to the line. Dani Martinez, teammate of the day, perhaps, and that is saying something with the rides by Bilbao, Stora, and the other domestiques today. Bernal always, he never looked in danger really of losing the Maglia Rosa or getting close to that.
No, he never did. I think at the biggest point we've had was 53 seconds of a lead for Caruso, and that was counting a potential bonus seconds at the end. So I think the gap was about 43 seconds. What was interesting to see though is that we had the peloton chasing down the leading group in which we found the likes of Giovanni Visconti and Luis Vaca, who on paper do not have any interest in this stage, but Luis Vaca, former rider of the team DSM, Giovanni Visconti, fellow Italian, did give their all for respectively Romain Bardet and Damiano Caruso, trying to give them a bit of a bigger chance against the peloton. Peloton at one point led by Mitchelton, which sprung some interest. At one point we thought that maybe Simon Yates could try something. He looked strong in the last couple of days. However, Simon Yates did not deliver today. He was my prediction for the stage win, but he just wasn't there.
Yeah, he didn't quite have it. It seems the high altitude has got to him over the likes of Bernal and Caruso for sure. He was so dominant on the lower altitude mountains, and he just hasn't been able to convert that to the high altitude. When you think about it, he lost 3 minutes to Cortina d'Ampezzo, another 20, 30 seconds to Bernal today. That's 3.5 minutes. That's his deficit to Bernal overall in the race. So, that was his issue at the Giro d'Italia. And it looks like, it's been a successful race for Yates. A podium on the GC, a stage win as well. He can't complain too much, but I don't think he's quite achieved what he came here for.
I don't think so either. I think we'll come back to that stage on Cortina d'Ampezzo, I think, because that was the turning point, in my opinion. He had felt on very good legs on the Zoncolan, and we thought that was where Simon Yates was going to get into shape, and Cortina d'Ampezzo killed him. Whether it was altitude, whether it was the weather, those are questions we can't really have the definitive answer to. But I think, Simon Yates probably will be a bit disappointed, because I do feel he had the legs over the course of the 3 weeks to at least challenge for the Maglia Rosa. He's never been really challenging for it, if we're being honest. And it leaves Bernal basically with, the Maglia Rosa 90% on his shoulders with tomorrow's time trial. We'll take a quick look at the GC before taking a preview of tomorrow's time trial. But Egan Bernal leads with 30k left to go in this Giro. 1 minute 59 ahead of today's winner Caruso, 3:23 on Yates, and then we have quite a nice bunch, because 7:07 we've got Vlasov, 7:48 Bardet, 7:56 the man in form at the moment Dani Martinez, 8:22 Hugh Carthy, and 8:50 Joao Almeida. There is 1 minute and 43 seconds between P4 and P8. Everything in those positions is up for grabs.
Certainly is. And, Joao Almeida and Dani Martinez towards the back of that bunch, they're clearly, for me, the two strongest time trialists as well, particularly Almeida. So we could definitely have a big shake-up in those positions. But like you say, Bernal, 1 minute 59 to Caruso. If he was within 1 minute, I would say there is a slim chance. But, I think Caruso will gain time on Bernal, but certainly nowhere near 2 minutes.
I don't think so either. I think I said that if it was below 1:30, Caruso had a chance. 2 minutes on 30 kilometers, unless there's an issue. And I think even if Bernal has like a puncture or needs to change his bike, I think he's relatively safe. But then again, we said the same thing with Primož Roglič and Tadej Pogačar last year on the Tour de France. And, well, we all got surprised. So maybe there'll be one last curveball in this Giro.
We've seen stranger things, but we'll see. We'll get into the stage 21 prediction. So taking a look ahead to the final stage, the final 30k, as Guillaume said, of the Giro d'Italia. Almost 3,500 kilometers ridden and just 30 remain. We start in northern Milan. a northern commune named Sanago, and we head straight to the centre of Milan, where the time trial last year and in previous years as well has finished alongside the Milan Cathedral. Fairly spectacular scene for the finish of the Giro. The stage, there's not much to mention, to be honest. It's very flat throughout, almost 30 kilometres, and it's a time trial against the clock. There's no more to mention.
We will wrap up this Giro as we unfolded it with a battle against the time. But yeah, it's a very flat parkour, not exactly a technical one. We go through suburbs and then through the streets of Milan. But yeah, it should be a time trial for the pure time trialist, the people who have wham legs.
Wham legs indeed. So shall we move on to our final prediction of the Giro, Guillaume?
I believe we will. However, we have a twist now because the score is currently 2-1 in my favor since the predictions started. And obviously, I mean, Joe cannot win on a purely mathematical standpoint. Therefore, I decided to throw a card out of my bucket or out of my hat. I do not know. And this round will be worth double points. Therefore, whoever wins is the grand winner, the Maglia Rossa of the prediction game will be whoever wins tomorrow.
I'm very much looking forward to the opportunity to overhaul your deficit, Guillaume. But I would like to also point out how horrendous have we been? 2-1. We've got 3 predictions correct between us over 21 stages. That is abysmal. We need to improve over future Grand Tours. That is 100%. That's embarrassing.
Oh, we do. We've been shocking. The one thing I'll say though is that we've often mentioned the names of the riders that would win, except the likes of Taco van der Hoorn. But like Van Drame, I had mentioned him. I'm still killing myself for not having picked him. I picked Almeida when Yates won, and then I picked Yates when Almeida could have won. I mean, we always were close, but yeah, we need to be more consistent. I'm aiming for at least 4 correct predictions on the next Grand Tour.
Yeah, 4 is a good aim, but I think Guillaume, it's only fair as you've given me the opportunity to win this game and put double points on the line that you go first for the final prediction of the Giro.
Well, I mean, it would be logical for me to go for one rider, and although I did give you the opportunity to go double points, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to just take a free win. Therefore, I'm going to go for a win of a world champion. I'm sorry, Joe. But Filippo Ganna is winning tomorrow in Milano. I didn't back him for the first time, Joel, and I've been killing myself since. He will be joined on the podium in second place by runner from the team Declan Quickstep, in Joao Almeida, and in third place is going to be my little wild card. I'm going to go for Dani Martinez.
Ooh, my words. I did not expect that one. Dani Martinez on the podium. I mean, you've gone for the GC guys there with Martinez and Almeida on the podium. It's interesting. And yeah, I think I have 2 options here. I either lose 4-1 or I lose 4-3. They seem to be my 2 options on the cards. I think Ganna is going to win this time trial. Let's get that straight. But you do leave me no choice in this scenario. I'm going to have to double down on my man from stage 1 who failed me there. He's almost certainly going to fail me again, but I shall root for Remy Cavagna of the Koenig Quickstep to win stage 21 of the Giro. I think he'll be second, but I can't go for Ganna. We'll see. We'll see if Cavagna can provide a shock, because I think it would be a shock. I can see Ganna winning this by quite a margin. So with that in mind, I'll go for Cavagna first, Ganna second, and I shall go for Edoardo Affini in thirds.
The man who was in form as well during this Giro. Joe, I have one question regarding those predictions. Do you have any changes regarding the general classification of the Giro d'Italia tomorrow?
I think I certainly do, and I think Romain Bardet is going to be the big loser, to be honest. He has 3 riders within a minute of him. Carthy, Martinez and Almeida. I think he could probably lose all of those places, go down from 5th to 8th. And I think Almeida, I really see Joao Almeida jumping Carthy, Bardet, maybe even Martinez and Vlasov. I really feel Almeida is going to do well in this TT. So I think I'll go for an Almeida top 5, up from 8th place. And just to illustrate what a ride this is, I checked earlier, exiting the final rest day, after stage 16, heading into stage 17, Almeida was 6 minutes behind 5th place in the GC. He's now just over 1 minute down on 5th place. It's been an unreal comeback by Almeida, and I'm rooting for him to complete that comeback into the top 5.
It has been a comeback. However, we do need to say, though, that I don't think he would have had the opportunities to go in the breakaway he's had he been closer in the GC. So I think that is one of the key factors. But I also see Joao Almeida getting a few positions. He will be overtaking Carthy. He will be overtaking Bardet. I'm not sure he'll overtake Vlasov. I don't think he will, meaning that my top 5 for the GC will be Egan Bernal winning the Maglia Rosa ahead of Damiano Caruso, Simon Yates, Daniel Felipe Martinez, and Alexander Vlasov to wrap up the top 5.
So you've got Vlasov losing to Martinez. What's the gap? It's just under a minute.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can see it. Just to shake things up, then I'll go Bernal, Caruso, Yates, Vlasov, Almeida. So that will wrap up our penultimate Giro recap here at the 2021 Giro d'Italia. It looks like Egan Bernal has the Maglia Rosa all but wrapped up. Damiano Caruso as well. Looks like he's going to claim his first podium at a Grand Tour. It's been a very exciting race, but we do have one final stage to look forward to. And Guillaume, do you have any final words?
The Giro Trophy might be endless. Sadly, this race does have an end, but it will be a great finish tomorrow in the streets of Milano.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.